I'm struggling on a camera position. I've been using like this spot for a little while now, but I'm like almost feeling like maybe we should zoom me out like more, like maybe like this or something, or maybe even further. I don't know. Do we care? Do you guys care? Would you prefer if I'm up here? Or would you like want me to be back more? Like, what do we want? Does it matter at all, or are you just here for the anime anyway? So you don't care. I don't know. I'm trying to work on something, but I don't know what's better or what's worse. So let me know. I guess I'm also probably thinking I'm gonna get some curtains, to get lighting a lot more consistent in here because it's been really different at very different times depending on when I'm recording and different days depending on the weather and everything. So I think if we get some stuff and really blocks things out, we'll have some better lighting overall. I don't know if any of that's relevant or important to any of you at all, but I just if it is or you would prefer things, let me know. I guess I think we're just gonna rock with it like this. I don't know. Not that any of that has anything to do with Alya, but here we are. Welcome. Sorry, another day late. This is the second time this has happened with the series. It's been rough. It's been rough. We made the community note about it, talked about it a little bit, but just sitting down for certain days have been very hard for me, and I've fallen behind on a lot of stuff. So I've been trying to cut back some things, and then hopefully going forward now into the future weeks, I'll have some more motivation, some more energy, some more time is mainly the thing here, to sit down and actually get these things in. A lot of it's myself, a lot of it's me not sitting down and doing it, and not working on and having a better schedule for things. But at the same time, I'm just trying to go day by day and live my life. So sometimes it gets prohibited a little bit, but it is what it is. And we are here. I'm very excited to be here. I absolutely love the show so far. All 3 episodes have been great. All of them have been very unique and different, but at the same time, I've loved everything about them. So I'm thrilled to see what more that we can get now that Alya's sister seems to be well aware of what we're dealing with here, of who our actual boy is and what his relevance is to each of them and their relationships and stuff. Where the childhood friend who wasn't the childhood friend and became the sister actually ended up turning out that we have an actual childhood friend of the girl who we like now. It's weird. It's weird, and I think it's a fun little twist for them to put on it. But I have no clue where they plan to go with that. If she plans to bring that up at any moment, if we're gonna have a battle between the sisters for him, if she's willingly just gonna back down and give in, which I almost feel like she kind of will she ever come forward and explain that that's the case? If that happens, is she aware that he's well aware of some Russian and then kind of know exactly the things that happen and that he is probably aware of the things that he is saying? Or will the other issues I don't know. I'm excited though to see. Hopefully you guys enjoy. If you like all the like and subscribe amounts, we feel free to stick around for the discussion. Let me comments with this episode of series. Let's get going with the 4th episode. Eventful day of shopping. Why didn't you get the one that looks like him? That's what we should have done. Yeah. There was also, I forgot to mention it earlier, but there was also rumors that she was dating somebody, so I guess we'll figure out if that was the case. Maybe it's even the president for all we know. No, going out with her would not have changed my mind. Nah.
おお、九条姉は賛成か。いや、名前だけって。というか、ユキはわかりますけど、会長はなんでそんなに俺を入れたがるんですか？むしろどうして生徒会に入りたくない？
No, you answer first.
俺には激務だけが理由だとは思えないんだが。俺は生徒会役員にふさわしい人間じゃないですから。
Why do you think so?
ふさわしくない。
I mean, if everybody inside thinks that you are, you might be. Done his research. Valid.
女の子を振り向かせるために生徒会長になったんだぞ。お前よりはよっぽど不純な動機だと思うがな。
I love that he's the only one that thinks that's funny. Is she bad? Ah. Okay, but you just hit puberty, brother. You grew into yourself. You're good now. You're good.
成績も悪いし運動も苦手。正直学校自体あんまり好きじゃなかったんだが、それが分不相応にも同じ学年の二大美女の一人に恋をしてしまったんだよ。
Let's see her.
それって会長の彼女の？ああ、副会長更科千咲。
Ah,
彼女の恋
Vice
人として
President.
ふさわしい男になれるよう死ぬ気で努力してな。会長の座を勝ち取ったのもその一環。
気であれ、きちんと結果を残していればそれでいいと思うの。きっかけが恋愛や友情でも、生徒会としてちゃんと生徒たちのためになる活動ができてればそれでいい。
that could honestly be a good outlook on a lot of things in life. Some that I've never even considered like that.
となっちゃいけないってことになってしまうもの。
それはまあそうですね。そういうことだ。お前はスオーと共に中等部副会長として立派に結果を残した。
As a duo.
後ろめたく。
ずっと私を支えてね。
やだよ、めんどくさい。
お兄ちゃんでしょ。
他の誰かを会長にするために生徒会に入る。大いに結構だ。
Yeah, but now you got two people. If you do, you got two of them.
誰かを会長にするため。
Yeah. If only there wasn't multiple people in my life who actively want to become president.
野球部とサッカー部の揉め事の仲裁に。
Oh.
揉め事？この時期は野球部が毎年恒例の対外試合に向けて校庭を使っているんだが、今年はサッカー部も地区予選をすることになってな。それで校庭の使用権を譲ってほしいと言うんだ。それをアーリャが仲裁に行っていると。ああ、
See, they're gonna
どちらも
try.
譲らないみたいなんだ。野球部はスカウトが視察に来るみたいだしな。
Damn.
そういえば野球部のキャプテンがテレビに出たわよ。
We are at like some sort of prestigious school though, right?
普段はこういう部活間の揉め事は千咲が担当なんだが、
But where's she at?
剣道部の用事で外せないらしくてな。これ
Jesus.
も経験だと思って九条妹に任せたんだが、なかなか難航しているらしい。
See, that's not the stuff you tell me and drop on me if you're trying to convince me to get in. Because then I'm not interested. Then I'm like, that's too much work. Laying down the law between them as we have our debate.
だからサッカーはホームでやる方が有利なんだよ。
お互いに非難し合っても仕方ないでしょ。
じゃあダイヤはあんのかよ。
You want to solve this for us?
戦時機を代わりの練習場
The
として
Riverside Park? What the fuck?
戦時機
What kind of response is that?
誰も私の言うことを聞いてくれない。私はやっぱり人の心を動かせない。
Shattered of her world.
誰かに期待してこんな気持ちになるくらいなら私は一人でいい。どうせ誰も私にはついてこれない。
Enter the hero.
そうやって他人を見下し突き放して歩み寄ることを拒否してきた。これはそのツケだ。一体誰がこんな人間の言葉に耳を貸すっていうの。
Oh, they're gonna make her
彼目
cry.
線で正論を突きつけることしかできないこんな人間と。パマギーチ
Enter the hero.
パマギーチ。
どうもー。
Damn.
お取り込み中にすいません。生徒会から応援に来ました。生徒会庶務の久世正親です。
Welcome to the team. We observed or listened in from the
そ
outside.
もそもサッカー部の方が圧倒的に部員数が多いんだ。移動の手間を考えたらそっちが移動すべきだろ。
落ち着いて。
I like this a lot, actually. If he chooses to just wait here, because I kind of had issues with maybe the way that they would have approached this before.
ま、かわいそうだけどこれも経験だな。頑張れよ、ありゃ。
パマギーチ。
Yeah. Okay, cool. I like that a lot more then.
パマギーチ。
Because I was gonna say, I don't fuck with the whole idea of like, we have to send him to go in and do something, you know, to save her and prove that she's incapable of doing it. If she's willingly asking for help here,
ではこういうのはどうでしょう。移動する人数を考慮し、河川敷には野球部に行っていただく。その代わり人数が多いサッカー部からその手伝い要員を派遣してもらうというのは。
手伝いなんだよそれ。
What are they helping
俺
with?
らだけ河川敷に追いやられなきゃいけねえんだよ。
道具が多いのこっちよ。
そういうことなら野球部には私たちマネージャーが手伝いに行きます。いいよね。
That'll be a resolution.
それで収まるのでしたら。
おお、まあ
She's like, these fucking men just want to fight all the time. Can we just resolve this?
さっきまでブーブー言ってたくせに。
校庭の使用権を譲ってくれるんだからこのくらいは我慢しなよ。
Yeah,
しゃあないな。
ではそういうことで。
more than
では双
capable.
方ま
What a guy.
た改めて生徒会まで申請に来てください。勝手に出しゃばって話進めちゃってよ。お前の顔を潰しちゃったよな。
別にどうしてあんな提案をしたの？普通に考えたらあんな提案。
I'm glad he sees through a lot of this.
あなた野球部が抗議する中あの先輩の方をじっと見てた
Pressure.
じゃない。
あのマネージャーの先輩な、野球部の
Oh yeah, of course she wants that. You don't associate with other people.
カップル。あの二人が付き合ってるって分かった時はすごい噂になってたけどな。
But you're not interested in any of that.
野球部のキャプテン、話し合いの最中ずっと黙ってただろう。彼女のことは気になるが、立場上公私混同はできない。一方彼女の方は彼女の方で、サッカー部が無理を言っている自覚がある分気まずい。野球部は可愛い女の子たちに練習を手伝ってもらって幸せ。
Yeah, there was no way they were gonna deny that.
独占できて幸せ。あの二人は部の垣根を越えて練習デートできて幸せ。綺麗に三歩丸く収まったな。
Our own little twist on it.
会長。
おう、話し合いはうまくまとまっ
You don't even gotta ask. You already know. You already know.
そうか。ご苦労だったな、九条妹。
すべて計画通りですか？
Absolutely.
ベソッと、これは一本取られたな。
はい。
それでどうだ、考えは決まったか？
ええ、まあ。不詳、久世正親。生徒会の一員として、その末席に加わらせていただきますよ。
Let's go. Welcome to the fucking team, brother. It's great too, because literally everybody wants him for different reasons. So he gets to be involved too, just like the other situation plays out.
これが年貢の納め時ってやつなのかね。
Yeah.
本当に生徒会に入るの？
So that means you're gonna run as my vice president next year?
スオさんと一緒に生徒会長選挙に挑むため？
だった
No.
ら
Oh,
だったら
maybe.
どうする？会長になるのを諦めるのか？
いいえ、私は必ず生徒会長になるわ。たとえあなたが相手でも絶対に諦めたりしない。
What if it means going up with him?
そうだよな。なら、俺がお前を生徒会長にしてやる。
So I don't have to be a
お
vice
前が望むな
president.
ら、全力で生徒会長にしてやる。これ以上一人にはしない。これからは、俺が隣でお前を支える。だから、黙ってこの手を取れ、アリャ。
A proposal. Let's go.
これからもよろしくな、アリャ。
ありがとう。やっちびゃりぶりゅう。
Does he know that one?
なんだこれ。
Oh, I heard the name. I heard the name. It's the sister. Confirmed.
今他の女の子
いや
考えてた。
なんでわかる？ まずいまずいまずい。
これからは俺が支えるとか言ったわよね。
Yeah.
はい、言いましたね。
Does that mean you're gonna be there with us?
スオさんの
No, 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 no.
と
いや、ユキのことじゃ。
ふーん。
マジで痛い。
クセくん、許してほしいなら黙ってこの件受け入れなさい。
Oh, damn. Good one. Yeah, nice hit.
バカ。
She knocked you down so she could pick you back up. So manipulative.
死にビンタされたの初めてだわ。また男としての経験値が上がってし
You've
まう。
really leveled up.
さっき倒れた時に頭にも打ったの？
別に脳に異常は来た。
Not a real one until you actually get hit by someone.
別にいいよ。ちょっと左頬の感覚ないけど。
それは大丈夫じゃないでしょう。
ああ、いや、さすがに冗談。
I love him. He's great. I love him.
そう。
Hello?
何をほうけてるのよ。ただのチークですよね。
チークキスって頬を合わせるだけなんじゃ。
Yeah, come on.
いや、でも。今の感
I can't feel anything.
いや、どっちだ。
それじゃまた明日。
また明日。
The hell is this? Oh, damn, she dripped out. Why did I do that?
やっちビリビリ。
Oh my god.
好きってクセくんを私が違うないそんなことあるわけ
Who are you convincing? It's not working on yourself.
好き
Ah.
あれはちょっと場の雰囲
Alright, it's just a very romantic moment.
それだけよ仮に
You ever hit a man and tell him you love
うん
him?
1万歩譲ってクセくんのことを好きだとしても
Ah,
今はそんなことより大事なことがある
got an election coming up. Can't be focused on love.
ことでしょそれを放り出して仮に告白なんかしたら
好き。あ、いや、ごめん。
I'm good, I'm good.
別にそんなつもりで支えるって言ったわけじゃないし。
But you guys could be such a crazy power couple as president and vice president, so maybe we should go for it. And we could have the craziest drama if you break up in the middle of it too. So the school could fall apart. So things could get interesting. So we should go for it.
おかえりなさいマーシャ
Masha, my queen.
マーシャ
Ah, she had a rough day.
何がって
Ah.
じゃーんアーリャにゃ見て見てアーリャちゃんによく似てないどの
What part exactly?
クセくんのことなんだけど何
Uh-oh.
好きじゃないわよ本当にしつこい
So he's free for me?
そっか
Don't.
なるほどね
Don't.
素直になれないアーリャ
Okay, cool.
あはでも好きなら好きって早く伝えた方がいいわよ
Somebody might come
誰かに
along.
振られてから上手だから何の話してるのよ
They're gonna get messy. It's gonna get messy. Uh-oh.
まったくもう何なのよ
Honestly, a lot more development, I think, on certain aspects of this than I was expecting as early as we got. So that's pretty fucking cool. I really like that. Now, I was assuming the student council thing would come up pretty easy and early. It's been 2 episodes in a row now where we've constantly kind of pushed for him to end up joining here, and once again another one here, so 3 now. It felt like it was gonna happen. It didn't seem like something he was gonna be able to hold off on for too much longer, but the feeling stuff directly coming from Alya and the recognition through the sister and the acknowledgement and everything that she kind of gives her towards the back end too, I think a lot of that stuff happened way sooner than I was fully expecting. I thought that stuff was going to stay hidden a little bit under wraps, similar to how the whole Yuki being his sister future and stuff was probably going to continue onwards for a while too. So that's pretty sick. Wasn't fully fully expected all that to come through. But yeah, overall, I think a lot of the stuff kind of went well. I don't think I have anything I want to specifically really get into too much, so we'll just kind of go through the episode a bit and talk. This one probably won't end up actually being too long. We continue to push a little bit and we learn a little bit about everybody that's kind of in the student council. I say everybody, but mainly the vice president and who the president kind of was at one point. The glow up and everything he had, good for him. I don't know if that's more of like, I wasn't happy with myself and worked on myself, or if it more so became, I literally hit puberty and kind of grew into my body and everything. It developed into what I ended up being here. But either way, he still had an end goal and he had a reason why he wanted to go out of his way and become what he did. And, he had a vision and he fulfilled that, and he's seen that vision, which is cool. So we end up having the vice president being his current girlfriend, I believe. I was wondering if that possibly could be Masha, but it isn't, because we've heard those rumors and the things from the first episode that apparently she is with somebody, even though we end up finding out, or we actually haven't found out that that's not the case, but I'd make the assumption that definitely isn't. But yeah, rumors and stuff like that kind of going around. So it turns out that's not vice president and is actually who he's with, who we don't get to see. And I do question and wonder, possibly is it the girl that we see with like the maid outfit and like all the other shit in the OP? So if that is the case, maybe we get introduced to her, which would make sense because like the main cast entirely seems to all be student council. So I would assume that. Now, if that isn't the case, it doesn't have to be. She doesn't have to be too relevant in. He could just be utilizing her as some sort of example to further along the plot a little bit, and get his point across so much more, that it is okay, to even have something maybe as impure of a motive almost as that kind of is, or could be. So who really knows, right? And it doesn't really matter, which is the entire point of this conversation here, that as long as you kind of go out of your way, what does it say? As long as you work to make things better for the students, it doesn't really matter what it is. It doesn't matter what your intention or your reason for it was, as long as you're doing what you're supposed to do at the end, which is a really interesting take because it's not something I necessarily have always thought of with a lot of things, and it goes back to the whole, you want to finish strong, and it matters exactly how you're able to kind of pull things off by the end, and maybe not the process of you kind of getting there. And it's interesting because the first thing that my mind went to was the idea of when people have kids, right? And how every time that they talk about reasons that they're having one maybe for themselves, I'm always a little bit like kind of turned off by, like it does something inside to me that I don't really like. It's just the natural reaction that I have, because it's almost like in my mind, when you're bringing somebody into the world, that you should be utilizing that as an opportunity or a reason to do something for somebody else and do something to set that person up to do something possibly for the future and everything as well, and having nothing maybe for you yourself to be doing. So when people are like, I want to have a kid for all these other reasons, and usually it's like selfish things directly related to them, it's kind of a little bit weird to me, and I don't really like that. And I would almost prefer you wanting to have that kid for your own purpose of like doing things for that person and setting them up, or maybe having some sort of benefit that they can kind of benefit the world in general too, or and even if they don't, be able to at least put them in a position where they can live kind of that happy life, or have things maybe that you didn't, and just a variety of different things. So that's where my mind initially kind of goes. But viewing it maybe from this sort of perspective, even if you did have impure reasons, or just the reasons that others, maybe myself included, would look at you like for, you would end up at the end of the day, as long as you kind of achieve and do the things that are kind of meant to happen and fulfill whatever that purpose is, whatever the, I guess, general consensus is the reason that maybe you should actually like do that, is it doesn't really matter, and it should be an okay thing, which I guess maybe is what they're doing. And maybe it isn't a one-to-one translation to every different aspect of life and stuff, but it is interesting because I've never really thought of it in that sort of way. I've always like considered that you should have like good reasons for certain things for you to do, but now the way that she kind of lays it out like this, if you're doing what you got to do, who the fuck cares why you're doing it? You know what I mean? I guess that can kind of make sense. I don't know how I feel of that. I feel like it's a good thing, but maybe, I don't know. Interesting. Okay, cool. So yeah, we go through that a little bit too. We end up always being here for me, right? Yeah, Yuki's fantastic, but it doesn't seem like that's actually going to end up being the case. She's off. There's a huge dispute and a thing going on. This is a tricky one, right? There's a big issue going on between everybody involved here, between baseball and soccer. Baseball essentially, I think, requested and reserved this and has the field and everything early on, and the soccer field didn't, but they ended up making it further than probably expected or further than whatever it is, so that they weren't able to have a field or anything to work on, and now they're trying to just continue using that and force baseball to be pushed back a little bit more. It's not as important. We're at a bigger stage, and baseball, on the other hand, is like, I don't fuck with that because we reserve this and we should be allowed to use this and we do this every year, and why are you trying to alter and change these things? So everybody having their valid reasons for what they need to, right? Your match isn't as important. Ours is. We made it really far. This is a huge thing. Let us kind of just have this, versus you being like, well, we followed the rules and did everything that we're supposed to, and we do this every year, and it's like, now you're just trying to ruin and take it from us. Typically, I would side with the baseball team specifically because they're like, I did this, like I followed the rules, I did all the stuff that I kind of have to. And also the soccer team overlooking the idea that they would even make it something like this, and that they should put in a request to actually like have access to this, and then maybe can relinquish it if they ended up not making it. Like that should have probably been something on their minds, and instead seems to have not been the case. So I probably wouldn't really want to side with them myself personally, but I do get it also from a fan or a person who has played sports and stuff in the past, where if I was in a position and we made it extremely far and we needed a place to practice the most serious and important times of the year, and you're just going to steal and take, and somebody's just going to take that from us. I was going to say steal, they did not steal, but just take it from us. I'd feel a little fucking weird. I would not be too happy with that, and I'd be angry and in their position too. So I completely get the anger and everything that comes out of this, and why they would be put in this position. And Alya is the one who cannot deal with this in the slightest at all. I love when she mentioned the Riverside, because I immediately knew they were gonna be like, the Riverside. You fucking crazy. But yeah, we've displayed this already. We know this isn't her vibe, right? Like we know she can't do this. We know how she interacts and works with other people. We know this wasn't going to end up working, and she is somebody who's an extremely hard worker and cares a lot and wants to make sure that she gets things done correct, and be as good of a person that she kind of can in these moments. But she struggles to communicate with others. She struggles to have these social abilities in these things to actively like set things up, get people on the same page, and agree to like these different things and kind of mediate and be that person. This just isn't her role. It's not for her. So putting her in this situation, even if it is intended for her to grow, and not having a person to actively like watch on and figure out how they kind of do it, doesn't really end up helping them. So of course she panics here, remembering the things of the past and the stuff that she's had to kind of go through as a result. I mean, we even saw that before with what ended up happening with Kuze, and he ends up fixing it at the festival and everything, but instead entirely different situation here, and we find ourselves her being like, I have no clue what the fuck to do, until she speaks out and asks for somebody in Russian, and the boy comes in, and he comes in as backup, immediately states himself as a part of the student council. So I love the way that they did this, because it works as a compliment for each other, right? It works to set each other up that each of them are very capable of doing things, or willing to do things that the other person isn't, and is capable of doing things that maybe the other person isn't. So they complement each other extremely nice and work with each other extremely well as a duo. But what I like the most about it is the typical, boy comes in as savior over the person, is kind of fucking lame, and I hate when we do that. And we do that here to an extent, but it's more of, it doesn't feel forced in a way that he just steps in and he kind of embarrasses her and makes her look bad, and he does in some sort of way, but he doesn't because she asks for it, right? She's asking for the help. We have that moment and he hears that, which is why he steps in. He's going to step away and walk away from this. Instead, he ends up hearing that, and he decides, okay, I guess I can go in. He's given his okay essentially to go in, which I like a lot, because if we just step in and we just show her up and we're like, hey, maybe we should all start and do this, and it makes her feel like shit, because it makes her feel incapable of being able to actually do these things, and it makes her kind of just look like she's not able to do anything from the outside perspective of all these other people. And this is somebody who's trying to essentially run for president at some point next year, so you're also going to be hurting their vibe a little bit more too, their campaign themselves. So what are we doing, right? It doesn't make much sense, but It works because she wants it, right? If she doesn't willingly ask for the help and she doesn't need that, then it just feels wrong. But because we end up writing it in a way that allows that to happen, he goes in, and I love him speaking in Russian as he goes in as like a response for it. Immediately, people recognize, almost have like some sort of respect for the position that he was in before and what he's able to. And he's able to reach a resolution by knowing these people, knowing things about them, being able to read the room and the environment and figure things out a little bit more too. And I like that a lot, where he's able to then communicate and get the girls kind of on board, have them kind of speak out, constantly stare one of them down, knowing that they need to actually say something, and letting them come out and work on an agreement all together. It puts each of them in a good position. The baseball captain doesn't really give a fuck. He doesn't want to, but you have to put on, you know, a brave face for it. It's a similar situation like in baseball. We can use as the reference for this too. You'll have the managers of the team go out sometimes and argue and get kicked out of the game from umpires, even if they're not actually that angry about anything, but it's a way you have to protect those around you and protect the players that you're kind of working for here, right? You have to be that leader in that situation. So sometimes it entails you doing things even if you don't want to, or acting out in a way even if you don't feel that way, just because you have to make these people feel validated for what they were doing, and you have to kind of stay on their side and keep the energy good there, right? Allow them to not lose any trust or anything within you. And that's a common thing that you'll end up seeing. So you have to protect those people and stand up for those that you care for. So that's why he's doing that in this scenario, even though he doesn't actually want to. So it works. He goes off without arguing at all. And of course, as we even end up explaining with Kuze later, this worked perfectly because all the guys on the baseball team are going to be absolutely thrilled for this to happen. The main leader here for the what do they call, the managers or whatever on the soccer team, are going to be happy because she is dating the other guy, so she gets to go back and forth and constantly see him. And they already said that they're, I'm pretty sure at least, and even if they didn't, they're probably not that busy because they're not the ones practicing and doing everything, that they can't just go help out a little bit for a little bit of time while this is kind of going on. So it works as a good resolution for everybody to essentially get the things that they want, even if the baseball team isn't too thrilled about where they're going to have to be going and having to remove themselves and like kind of go further away to practice. But instead, at least they get some sort of thing out of it, right? Like there's some extra bonus or thing that really comes within it. President comes in, yeah, you knew this was going to happen. Absolutely. He's well aware of what's going on. He can see right through you there. And we end up getting him in. I knew this was going to happen. I didn't want this at all. Like, really joining? Absolutely. He is coming in. You're doing it just so you can work with Suo and you guys can actually be a duo going forward. What if I am? You know, what are you going to do if that's the situation? I'm not saying that's the case. And she's like, I do not care because I'm going to become this no matter what, even if I have to go against you, standing strong, showing exactly who you are, not wavering at all. And we get to see exactly as she's done before. And that's exactly what he wants. So he's absolutely thrilled by that. I'm going to go out of my way because somebody like you is the person I think should be in that sort of position. So I'll do whatever I can to actively help you out. Now, you should be the vice president with her because you complement each other extremely well. Really cute of him being like, shut up and take my hand. Fuck all of that. We're gonna make this stuff happen. And she gets extremely happy about that until, you know, she says this, and I love how they don't tell us. And I wonder, because he had a weird reaction to it, if it's a he didn't know what it meant, or if it's a he actually did, but it immediately made him think of somebody else that he might have like these sort of feelings and something for. I don't actually know, but immediately we get this here, and she says this, and that's what they say. But I'm like 99% sure I hear her say her actual name within it too, which is why it definitely is the sister. She gets angry. You're thinking of another girl. You shouldn't have said yes, but you're an open book, brother. Having that's unbelievable. Very next moment you're thinking of somebody else. Shut up. Shut up and take my hand, but I gotta knock you down before we can do that. Knock someone down just to bring them back up. Unbelievable. Became a real man, gained XP points, leveled up. I get slapped. I love that. Face still stings a little bit, and she comes on and does this, like moving way different, but also cultural differences and stuff too. But still moving way different. I love this panicking, being like, wait, what the fuck? It was great. Seriously, which fun ED. Love the drip on all of them. Look at that. What a trio. What an absolute trio. She's remembering exactly what she says. Me? No, couldn't be. Why would I ever even say that? Yeah, just caught up in the moment for absolute sure. Fucking stupid. She's so dumb. As soon as she accepts it, she'll be fine. You know, she just gotta get her over the hump. And then the sister ends up coming in. Ah, I met somebody wonderful. I had a great day. About him, you know? It's great. I get it. but you got to really, really stop being the way that you almost are. While it is cute and everything, somebody's going to come along at some other point if you don't. You know, if you don't make that move, you don't do that thing, and somebody's going to end up doing that. I don't know if she means more in the like, I'm going to do so, or if she just means like, you know, there's people like Yuki and plenty others who are going to come out of their way, even maybe randos that we end up coming into who actually see those things and be able to have that confidence and come forward a lot more than you actually are. And her being like, what the fuck are you talking about? Really fun, excited to see what is to come, what more we have for the drama. Things like that could get messy. You know, if we want to bring Masha in, she wants to be the one who ends up being involved here, it could get really messy between family dynamics and, you know, just relationships and everything, and everybody also being involved in some sort of way in student council. I don't know, that could be weird, but we'll end up seeing. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you liked it, I'd like and subscribe. Once we feel free to check out the video and channel, comments with the sort of series. I'll be back for episode 5 very soon. It was a great one. Peace.